Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over, and I am back to Stellaris. This is episode 2 of our super in-depth detail thing. So we are going to start playing. I have run for like 5 months of game time without actually doing anything. That's not so great. I wouldn't recommend that. But we are in the exploration phase of the game. Early phase. Ultimately, at this point, there's not a whole lot we can do. We don't have much in the way of resources. We've got a very small fleet. And even our science and technology is going to be months out. If I come over here to the menu, click on technology, I'm seeing 88, 88, 73 months. So years and years till even our first levels of technologies come through beyond what we start with. So that being said, for Stellaris, we did, by the way, choose our starting technologies. I think we just kind of quickly went over those. We're going to dip into getting a little bit of extra research each turn, each month. We're going to get a little bit of extra Unity generated, a 5% bonus to monthly Unity, and a plus 10% to our mining station outputs. I just kind of picked those real quick to clear those out. Now, interestingly, you can mine on your planets, on your colonies, and you can mine on your space stations, but they are nearly the same thing. So let's just jump into our Sol system real quick, right here. Boom. And you can zoom into Vesta 4. This is an asteroid, and we are generating 7. The green 7 means a positive gain to us on a monthly basis of the red mineral. Actually, it's 7.5. So you can imagine when we get that technology out like 80 months from now, we'll get a little 10% bonus to that. That'll click from a 7.5 rounded down to 7. It'll probably push it forward to a 8.2, right? 10% bonus, and it'll pop up to a full 8. I would imagine most of your resources you harvest in the game, I think all the decimal places are added together. So I think little tiny 5%, 10% can cumulatively add up as it scrapes together all the mineral resources from all your sources. But yeah. And then let's just take a quick example. Here in the Sol system, I see an additional asteroid that's yielding 7.5 mineral. But I see Ganymede right here. I see the red mineral, but the number 2 is white. Where'd Ganymede go? Right up here by... no, Jupiter. Jupiter, Io, Ganymede, yeah. Callisto, we got all the good ones. Europa, right there, Frozen World. But yeah, that's what that means. That the fact that it's white means that we have not harvested it yet. And in fact, when we look over here, we can see the Callisto Research Station in orbit. And what this is doing is researching, giving us some engineering research off of Callisto, looking for life signs, whatever. So yeah, there's a little station here, but ultimately, that research station, I mean, I guess it could be destroyed, but we're never going to do anything with it. We can't click on it, go into it. So a lot of these little stations you're going to build in a solar system, you can see there's all manner of object out here. Mining stations, right? We don't need to interact with the mining station. We don't need to interact with the research station. It's just a graphical representation of the fact that we are harvesting the resource from that within the solar system. At some point, we will have hundreds of stations in space. So the ways you're going to really grow your empire are through colony side stuff, districts, buildings, and populations, and in space by using research and mining, resource harvesting space stations in all the solar systems and all the systems that you get under your control. So those are kind of the 2 main ways you're going to gain stuff. Now, with some of the DLC, you can get into a lot of habitat building and make all sorts of artificial structures, your space stations, as well as habitats that populations can grow and dwell in. And you can play a whole civilization that is kind of spaceborne. But for the vanilla game, we're not going to do that. So yeah, planet side resource harvesting and space station harvesting, or satellite, whatever you want to call it. So right now, if I look up here, I can see that I have 268 minerals. We are gaining 42 extra minerals every single month. And I think we started with 100, but because we've ran it forward several months, yeah, we've gotten to that point. But yeah, the nice thing is now we can grab a construction ship and we can send it to Ganymede. Now, there's two ways to do that. I can actually zoom in at the solar system level. I can click my construction ship, which is signified by the wrench and screwdriver. And yeah, it's just a little ship. It's got a little bit of health points, totally non-combat. And I can right-click on the Ganymede tile, and it will pop up, build mining station for 100 minerals. It'll have a monthly upkeep or tax of 1 energy credit every month. So bear that in mind, is that I think I mentioned in episode 1, as your empire grows, every building, every center, every spaceship, every satellite space station has taxes involved, has costs. It's not like, oh man, I built 500 stations and I'm gaining all the benefits with no detriment. It's like, nope, you're paying an upkeep on every single one of those 500 things you built. In very much, one thing you'll find, unlike, it's a little bit surprising about Stellaris, I would say, maybe from other games, is that these numbers up here, energy, mineral, they don't get astronomically large, the gains. You can save up a lot if you don't expend them, and you can certainly get very large numbers, but for the most part, you're going to consume these, the food, the minerals, the energy, all this stuff is going to get used up as your empire grows. Don't get me wrong, if you really focus into something, you can get some crazy productions on alloys or whatever else, or research. But yeah, it's going to kind of be more of a linear growth. Linear growth. There we go. Left to right. I'm inverted. So, but I will build it. So I just click it. And what we'll notice is that our one thing down here, building Ganymede mining station, 0% done. The ship is idle, but as soon as we hit, we unpause the game, this ship, and I'll just do it real quickly. I'm going to hit unpause. And there we go. You see the mining ship? She is on her way. And I'll hit pause right there. Once that ship actually gets to the station, it will start the percentage. So the journey time for your ships to their target is not included in this percentage time. Although I do believe there is a way to see days to travel, especially when you're sending, say, your construction ship to another solar system, another system. It might take 100 days for your constructor to go to one of the jump points. Let's see, where's Alpha Centauri? Right over here. Yeah. I've got an Alpha Centauri jump point. We can send hyperspace lane, whatever that you want to call it. The constructor ship would actually fly across the solar system to this point, then go through the slipstream, pop out in the other system, and then from there journey to the resource that's going to build that. And that can take quite a long time. So yeah, bear in mind. But the interesting thing, so, and you can see immediately up here, we were at 268. It detrimented us to 100 minerals. It's putting those into that construction right away. Now, interestingly, I think I could cancel that build and I would get my 100 minerals back. But what it's doing is it is kind of taking out of your allotment. It's saying these have been earmarked, and it detriments it right away, even though I have not started production. So I'm not exactly sure on all the mechanics of that. Most of the time, you won't be backing out of what you're building. So, yeah, okay. So listen, we've got one of our ships working within the solar system. However, our science ships, these are going to be really good for surveying systems and researching anomalies. Imagine your classic Star Trek episode where the away team has to beam down to a planet to research some bizarre harmonic patterns in the weather, and then they have an adventure. It's kind of like that, a little less adventurous, but some of your folks may die, and with any luck, you'll have a heroic thing and get some really positive benefits out of it for your civilization. Most anomalies lead to pretty good benefits for your civilization. So I'm just looking around here. I can go to Niam, to Bernard Star, to Alpha Centauri, or to Demon's Maw. These are the 4 blue lines coming out of the Sol system. Now, I can see right here that the Demon's Maw is a black hole. That is what that is. It's an unsurveyed system. Intel level is high, meaning we've looked at it with our telescopes from afar, probably for centuries at this point. We know it's a black hole. Cool. All right. But I can also see we've surveyed some extrasolar planets. We believe there's a potentially habitable world in the Centauri system. I think that's worth looking at. And we also have one back here in Niam, but a bit of strategy is no one else can access Niam except us. We only have one way in and out, and that's through our system. So I think Niam can be left on the back burner for now. It will probably be there for decades to come. So we will get to that at our leisure. Let's, though, just grab on our science ship. And I will I have her selected. I will right-click. And my orders are move here or survey system. Well, survey system will move us there and then begin the survey process. Which literally means that that little science vessel will go to each planet, each asteroid, the suns, the star, like 3 stars. So it'll go to Alpha Centauri, Proxima, A and B, as well as the planets and asteroids. And it'll actually take a considerable amount of time, many, many months, years possibly, to survey the whole system. When that's done, it is now ready for us to exploit it further. So to me, I'm going to hit survey system. That line is just the science ship, and you can see here, survey Alpha Centauri 5, 0% completed. Oh, and check this out. Those are the orders. So it essentially did a macro order build. It's going, I'm going to get to Alpha Centauri 5, 5A, IAB, blah, 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 blah. And estimated arrival date, meaning travel time, 96 days. But the surveying is going to take months, years beyond that, because that's a lot of stuff to survey. Some systems are quite a bit smaller. Some small systems may only have 4 or 5 objects. This is a pretty good sized one with roughly 10, 12 things to survey. So it'll take a long time, but it'll be well worth it. And we think we're going to get that habitable world. Now, while we're looking at the UNS Gagarin, yeah, Yuri Gagarin, sure, that's cool. This is our head researcher, Herman Wagner. He's pretty young. He's coming at 33 right now. His skill level's 1. What that level 1 skill gives us is a 2% research speed. I can see right there, Empire effect per skill level, meaning 1, is 2%. So theoretically, if he was at level 10, it would be at 20%. It's pretty sweet. And he does actually have, I see the upkeep for Unity, the little sort of light blue or teal, like swirly things. That is his Unity cost, upkeep, meaning, again, tax, of 2 Unity every month. We have to pay to keep this guy engaged with our civilization, I guess. Not exactly sure. It's a little bit meta what Unity does with leaders, but it's just it's a good way to spend. Yeah, I think in the past it used to be energy credits. You would pay them, but now it's Unity. Fine. I see that he has his own special skill, though, called Intuition. It's a leader trait for the scientist class of leader, and what it does is it gives him an anomaly research speed of plus 10%. That's not bad. I'll take it. We will start finding anomalies pretty soon. We'll decide what to do then. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to kind of show you that. So we've assigned our construction ship. We've assigned our science ship. We have a very small fleet of 3 corvettes. These are, imagine, kind of like tiny little, probably floating submarines. They're probably, sort of like armored spacecraft with a couple of, pew-pew machine guns on them. Probably from World War III on Earth before humanity became united. I don't know why we have guns in space, but someone thought it would be a good idea. The 3 of them are up there. It's an extremely small and weak navy. I don't think we'll do anything with it. I know some players will go in and actually dismantle their ships to get the alloys out, to put it into their alloy stream here. I don't usually do that. I don't like playing at that meta level of gamesmanship. It's like if our civilization built 3 space subs to defend and fight with, I got to imagine they think there's a need for it and they think it's valuable and they put in trillions of dollars probably to make that effort happen. I'm not going to just take them apart because it's like, hey, look, I got 60 alloy. It's like, yeah, we can get more alloy. So I like to kind of role play through personally versus trying to like micro meta. I like the fiction of the story. Yeah, but that's up to you to decide. But yeah, you could scrap those suckers. Good, sure. Oh, we won't. Now, that being said, do we want to spend some alloy? So we've got our ships doing stuff. Oh, let's take a look. Okay, here's our military fleet right here. This is it. 3 ships of 20 possible, and they're just sitting there. They are doing a whole bunch of nothing. Status, docked at Sol Station, which is nice. It reduces their upkeep cost by 25%, so it makes the tax every month a little less. But we don't have to do anything. They're fine. They're just going to sit there in the dock. Awesome. But if we want to visually know very quickly what our fleets are doing, I can see that here's our constructor ship, the UNS India. She is, in fact, moving. And the UNS Gagarin is, in fact, also idle, but she will start moving. So we just know that like this symbol here with like that teardrop means scanning. That's like a scanning radar coming out from the ship. And this one here means she's going to go build stuff. So you can visually see. Now, I've got 2 other things on this list of governments. I've got my planet, my military fleet, my constructor, my science ship, my shipyard. Well, I don't have anything going on my planet or on my shipyard. Let's give those things, those objects, things to do. Let's jump into the Sol Station. And so here we go. This is the kind of the pop out of, not unlike a planet, but this is for a space station. So let's just look at it real quickly. We got some basic details of the starport. This is, I don't know that you can modify these in the vanilla game. I don't think there's any way to touch it, but fusion reactor, very cool. Radar systems, starbase. Here's some medium mass drivers for defenses, and we talk about shielding, deflectors, and composite armor. It's kind of fun stuff. Yeah, you can learn all about it. Damage output per turn, very cool. We potentially eventually can upgrade this to a starhold. And I'll just point out that to upgrade this regular basic station to a starhold would take 500 alloy and 720 days. So that's 2 years approximately to upgrade. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to do that. We will eventually do that though. We get to like stellar fortresses. It's pretty cool. So what else do we have here? We have some basic starbase modifiers. Now these will change as we gain technology or as we add modules and buildings onto our starbase. Now right now, the modules, we've unlocked 2 module slots out of 6 total. And we've unlocked 1 of the 4 possible building slots. To get those modules and building slots unlocked, we will have to upgrade to the Starhold and then bigger and bigger star bases. But right now, I can see that one of the modules we have is a shipyard. This lets us build ships. You can make a starbase that doesn't have a shipyard, like say it's a military starbase or a trade starbase. You can't build ships there, but this shipyard lets us build. And secondly, we have a trade hub. Cool. We have no trade yet. Let's see, what is that doing for us? Let's see. Collection range for trade is +1. That's cool. I don't think we have any trade in the Sol system. When I mouse over, tooltip's popping up, kind of covering my stuff there. Oh no, there is. There's 52 trade going on in. Yeah, sorry guys, you can't. It's like right behind the corner of that pop-up box. Well, at any rate, where's some examples of trade? There are, Earth. Okay, so worth pointing out, Earth right here is producing 52 trade. That's from all the stuff going on with all the pops on Earth. I think there's like 32 pops on Earth. Maybe some of the buildings, some of the clerks, that kind of stuff. But when we pop out to the galaxy level, this is important. We see 2 energy, 2 mineral, 2 physics research in white. This little quick thing is showing us very fast that there's 3 unharvested resources at the least there. A little bit of energy, a little bit of mineral, a little bit of physics. So hey, get a constructor ship, build those stations, harvest those resources. But actually, when I mouse over the star, and again, I do apologize, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to see that. You can see that under energy, there's the white 2 and the green 15. That means in the Sol system, I'm generating 15 energy as well as 15 mineral. And it looks like 4 engineering and 52 trade. Yeah, all the trades coming from Earth. Cool. All right. So yeah, potentially you could get rid of the trade hub and put something else. You could put in a second shipyard, and then you'd be able to build 2 ships at a time, which is kind of cool. And under buildings, we have the crew quarters. This does almost nothing for us, except it does give us that docked ship upkeep minus 25%. So it's just a really smart way to save, especially when your fleet starts getting into dozens and hundreds of ships. You can save a boatload of energy credits every month by having them docked at a station as opposed to just randomly floating out in space. Yeah, there you go. What else do we got here? We got defenses. I can build defensive platforms. They can actually build quite quickly in just 60 days. However, they do take 252 alloys. It gets expensive fast, and I'm not exactly sure how many can we build on this bad boy right now. 0 of 6 defensive platforms. So this would be if you were facing a war or you had a surplus of alloy, you could just, and you're like, I don't really want more ships, or I reached my naval capacity. I can't build more ships. What do I do with all this extra surplus alloy? You can go around your star basins and start building up their defensive platform. Because this can go to well over 20 platforms per star base. So you can put a lot of alloy in there. What else do we have? An army builder? Yeah, okay. Available planets in this sector, 1, meaning Earth. We could get humans, and put them into armies, send them into orbit, and they would be waiting here for when we need armies to defend or invade other planets. Yeah, conquer some Xenos. But finally, 4th tab, shipyard. Because we have 1 shipyard module on the starbase, we can in fact choose to build a corvette. We could build a construction ship. We could build a science ship. I want a science ship. Yeah. I know that it's going to take years to survey just the Alpha Centauri system. There's 3 adjacent systems beyond Alpha Centauri that I want to get surveying. So it's probably not a bad idea to get another science ship going. It'll take 60 days, and in fact, it cost 100 alloy. Now you may be thinking, oh man, yeah, I'm going to get a jump on surveying. I'm going to build 10 science ships and just flood my sector of the galaxy. I'll send them to every system. I'll survey as quick as I can. Heck, I'll put 2 or 3 science ships on a single system, so they'll all hit those 10 or 12 objects in a third of the time. You can, except that your science ships do need scientists on them, meaning leaders. So in order to get 10 science ships going, you would need to have 10 science leaders. That can get costly. Because remember, each one has an upkeep from your unity. So if each one's 2 unity times 10, 20 unity, well, we're only making plus 40 unity a month. That would be half of our unity. So you can suck up your resources really quick. So watch balance. That being said, you'll notice now there's a little progress bar at the Sol Station. In 60 days, that science ship will be done. That progress bar, you'll see progressing. Now, as soon as it's done, we're going to want to pay close attention. We will jump over to our leaders tab, and we will hire ourselves a scientist to go exploring. And we'll have 2 science ships each surveying. So, yeah, are you going to want to get to 2, 3, potentially 4 science ships in the early part of the game? Absolutely. But you're not going to build a whole fleet of them. Yeah, unless you've got some special build. Okay. Same with constructors. This constructor over the next year will build all these research areas and resource harvesting stations in Sol. Then we'll send it off to Alpha Centauri to build there. But you're only going to need probably as many construction ships as you have science ships, realistically. It's almost 1-to-1 is a good ratio, because as each science ship finishes surveying a system, you then send in the constructor, and it builds it up, and they kind of move together in pairs almost. That's my very general advice on how to do it. All right. So one last thing before we advance the turn, let's jump to Earth, because we don't have many minerals. What can we do here? All right. Listen. We have a nice smattering of basic districts. 3 city districts, 2 industrial, 3 generator, 2 mining, 3 agriculture. It's pretty cool. We only have 1 job available right now. We have an empty clerk slot under the workers there. I see only 4 of 5 clerk positions are taken up. So we're going to run out of jobs pretty quickly here. I don't know how long it'll be, but we'll have a new population added to our 32 very shortly. We'll actually kick over to 33 population. We're going to want jobs for them. We're going to need housing. This symbol here, we have 8 housing available. So we actually have quite a bit of headroom on our housing right now. We can have up to 8 more pops before we'll run out of housing. But jobs, we're down to 1. There's 2 things I want to think about early on in the game. One of them is on Earth in particular, they have here, I went to the features tab, and we have what's called a sprawling slum on Earth. We probably have several of them. And what it's doing is it's taking up a huge amount of our available land. It's inefficiently used. If we take the time, this region is covered by vast shanty towns and slums filled with the poor and the outcast. If we clean it up, we get them housed, we will get 1 productive pop created. It's a very quick and easy way to grow a pop. And we can only do it once because there's only 1 sprawling slum on Earth. And it's going to cost us 300 energy is the cost to it's essentially spending money to bring those people up out of poverty. It'll take 120 turns. That is the little green clock symbol is time. It's days, 120 days. And it will it give us a district back? Yeah, I think it'll free up 1 district, I believe. Because I see blocker max districts -1. Yeah, we should get a district back. Meaning we can build, one of these will free up. One of these grays should free up. What's going to happen? Okay. So listen, I have 590 energy. So I could do that. Now I want to be a little careful though, because if I do that in 120 days, I'm going to go 1 more population, and that guy's or gal or folks, millions, probably a billion of them, I don't know. We're going to immediately go into the clerk job because it's the only one I have available. So I want to think, should I maybe get some new jobs developed first by maybe developing another district or building a building like a science lab? Maybe I want more scientists right off the bat. Possibly. It's a good question. So if I wanted to develop a mining district, it's going to take 300 minerals. I see right under mining district will take 240 turns, so most of a year at 300 minerals. I don't have enough minerals. What if I go to a building? Let's click on this building slot. You can see here I have a whole list of possible buildings I can build. Looks like there's maybe 16 of them in here. They're sortable by these tabs up at the top. And as you develop new technologies, you'll get more and more types of buildings. So it works pretty well. If I go to the research labs, the little microscope, I could, for 400 minerals in 1 year, 360 days, I could make a research lab, which would get me 2 researcher job positions. Now, it means I build the building. I'm making a building called the research lab. It can house 2 billion people in that job. Again, populations, what does it mean exactly? I, in my brain, imagine each pop is 1 billion people, but we're going to make a lot of scientist jobs. It's not bad. And then when our population grows, they'll probably slot right into those researcher jobs. And they'll net us as I look at this. Okay, the long-term upkeep monthly on this research lab will be 2 energy per month. I got to keep that in mind. That's a forever tax. Never is going to go away. It'll yield 2 researcher jobs. And what it's doing is it's saying, researchers, the people working on those jobs are going to take some consumer goods, which is this symbol right here. And they are going to convert them into the blue atom, the green globe, and the golden gear. That's going to be physics, physics, social, and engineering. The 3 types of technologies. So we'll have to make sure we're feeding consumer goods to the researchers, and they will spit out research. Makes sense. Approximate job production will be around 12, 12, and 12 of the 3 types. Approximate upkeep will be around 4 consumer goods. You can imagine you'll run out of consumer goods pretty quick. We're only sitting at a +8 right now. So there's several things we're going to want to balance. We'll need to make sure we find a way to get more consumer goods as we grow other jobs. We want to grow make sure we have jobs available. And that's about it. That's the important stuff to remember. So, what do we do? None of it's super obvious, but I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I could build an industrial district that would yield 2 housing, cool, places for people to live, but it also yields 2 jobs. It yields 1 artisan and 1 metallurgist position. Metallurgists make alloys, and artisans make consumer goods. And as I look down here, I can see the approximate output of our 1 extra artisan will be 12 consumer goods. So if I just make 1 new artisan position somewhere on Earth, I can get up to 12 consumer goods, which would probably be able to fund up to 3 research labs worth of scientists or other things. So yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea because it gives me 2 jobs and it gives me consumer goods. That I was saying, like, we need jobs, we need consumer goods. This gets both with 1 stone. I like it. Now, I see it's 500 minerals. It'll take 480 days to build. It's a big investment. It'll be well worth it. But I don't have 500 minerals. Well, let's look at one of our sub-tabs. We can't build anything right now. The 160 minerals is not enough to build anything. So let's jump over here to our menu. The bottom option is the market. This is actually a pretty simple little window, but you'll probably use this quite a bit. Let's set up a couple of things. The first thing I can see is that there's a general market fee of 30%. All right. There's some things you can do as you play the game that might move the market fee, reduce it, move it in your favor, in which case the market becomes much more lucrative. But you can buy or sell. Right now, there's 4 things we can trade in. We can purchase mineral or sell, food, consumer goods, or alloys. Now, I will caution you. You can see we have minerals selected. I can simply select food, whichever one I want. And you'll notice here these are changing. If I click at food, see they're apples now. It's food now. Let's go back to mineral because that's what we're interested in. Now, the buy rate is each mineral costs 1.3 energy. This is a good thing to look at because it's kind of giving you a value. How much is an energy credit really worth? A little less than 1 mineral. Yeah, okay. We could sell 1 mineral for about 0.7 energy. And that's where that 30% market fee comes in. In actuality, 1 mineral is worth 1 energy credit. But the 30% increase to the market fee is essentially times 1.3. 30% 0.3. That's why it's going up to 1.3. And on the other side, when sell, we have a deficit of 30%. So it's actually a really big 60% spread. Caution. Now, as we start to buy, the cost will go up over time. As we sell, the value we get will go down. So don't hesitate in using the market when you need it. But if you go crazy, you will bury the needle one way or another. So fair warning. Well, I've got 591 energy. I could click on this and buy 100. Look what I just did. I just spent energy and I got 100. Let's do 1 more. And let's do 1 more. So I've used up quite a bit of my energy. Now, granted, I'm gaining plus 123 per month. I got a lot coming in. That's cool. But now I have the 400 energy. Was it 400 or 500? Buy 1 more. We're going all in. I could be patient and let some months run by, but just want to demonstrate. So now we have over 500 mineral. Is there anything else we want to do? Well, you know what we could do? We could sell some food. Let's jump over to food. And we have 400 surplus. We're generating 51 extra a turn. Man, that's so much. Let's just sell 100 really quickly for 70 credits. There we go. And how about another 100? We'll keep a little surplus of 200 food. It's about 4 months of production for us at plus 51 per month. So a little bit of cushion, right? And then let's do one other thing. I'm not going to mess with consumer goods. FYI, you'll notice that food and mineral are roughly in the same ballpark on cost. But look at, because we bought minerals, we purchased what, 400 minerals. Look at how the cost went from 1.3 to 1.4 already. Okay. Let's go to consumer goods. Consumer goods start at 2.6 and they sell at 1.4. Essentially, one consumer good is worth 2 mineral. So one food is worth 1 mineral, 1 mineral is worth 1 energy, one consumer good is worth 2 energy. Let's think about it in terms of energy, but you're getting my point. So mineral, food, energy is all 1-to-1 to start with. A consumer good is a 2-to-1, and an alloy is a 5.2. So let me do some big boy math. Six times? Am I right? Oh, 4 times? Crap. It's 4 times. Yes. Oh, yeah. Math be hard. It's 4 times. So alloy is the most valuable of the things we can trade in right now. So you'll see those numbers skew as we work the markets, but that's where we're starting at. The last thing that I'd say would be valuable to look at would be automatic trades. Add new monthly trades. Check this out. We can set up so that we can buy or sell one of the resources. Well, is it every month it's going to do this? I think we have way too much food. Plus 51 food a month is a lot. Let's sell food 10 per month. Sure. Let's add it. You can see here, sell food 10. We don't have a minimum trade value right now. I think you could set up buy sells at min and maxes, so you can kind of like have what's the term in stock trading? Buy point, sell point. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. It's a trigger ultimately. But that way, if you ever are like, you know what, I want to sell food, but I never want to sell it for too cheap, so I'm going to put a minimum sell price. You could do that. But yeah, we're going to sell 10 food off, and that will adjust. I believe our number will go from 51 to 41 per month because it knows that we're going to lose that. Now, a lot of times these numbers won't necessarily, the plus number will not update until the month rolls around to 30. We'll put that to the test right now. So we'll close this tab down, and let's just roll it forward 6 days, 7 days, and let's watch our food. That plus 51 should drop to 41, I believe. Here we go. There's... oh, shit. I sped it up. Here we go. Play 6, 7, 8, 9, 31. And I'll pause it. And sure enough, there you go. When I hit the pop-up on food, right down there, you can see the monthly trade minus 10. That's cool. But it's also yielding us some extra credits over here. Our monthly trades, very down at the bottom of that list, is a plus 7 energy credits. Awesome. Now, bear in mind, because we're loading food onto the market on a regular basis, it might start shoving the food cost per unit down to sell. So, but, for the time being, we'll take advantage of it. Oh, what the heck? We don't need all that food. So anyway, we paused again. We want to jump into Earth. That was kind of the last thing we wanted to do. And I think the first thing we're going to build into our build queue will be an industrial district. It pops up here giving me the option, and I'm going to say, yeah, I want an industrial district. I'll click it. There it is in the build queue with 480 days. Now, a build queue, a queue means a line. And for anyone who's an American has never heard the word queue before, I'm sure most knew that, but so if we want to queue up other stuff, line up other stuff to build, we could go to features and we could throw the sprawling slums in. Remember, it just costs 300 energy. Let's do it. Boom. So we're building or developing an industrial district, and after that's done, we are then going to clear out the sprawling slums. You can see I spent the 300 credits. So it'll take a long time. Those progress bars will be going, but what that's going to do is get us a new district with more housing, with 2 great jobs in artisan and metallurgy, and then this sprawling slum will get us a new pop promoted up, lifted out of poverty, and they're going to probably become an alloy worker or a consumer good worker, the artisan or the metallurgist. We don't know. We could fiddle with it and probably can control it, but for the time being, phooey, let them figure it out. We can adjust within the tier specialist jobs. We can switch alloy guys for metallurgists or scientists pretty much on demand. What we can't do is take a lowly clerk and move them up easily. It might take time. Sometimes it takes time. I think promotion is actually pretty easy. going up, but demotion is tricky. So we'll look at that more as it comes up. All right, we are 39 minutes in. But what I've done, all of this that we've talked about in the 2 episodes so far, is kind of what you would need to know to start the game. This episode in particular, we've done all the initial setup to essentially hit play. Now, we're 6 months into our first year, but really you would have done all this setup in your first, in your first month, you would have done all this, most likely. But here we go. Let's let her run. We're at normal speed, and I will point out, we'll pop it up a little bit. Double speed there. You can see Earth's progress bar. There's the Sol Station. You see our ships moving around. And I'm going to pause it right there because our shipyard completed our science ship. Now, it didn't give us a pop-up or anything. You got to be a little cautious. But I can see over here the UNS Darwin science ship in Sol system. But look at her. She's just sitting. This ship orbiting means that she is, in fact, just loitering. She's docked. She's not doing anything. So I can quickly see that this green color stands out to me. This green of the Sol Station's not building anything. The green icon of the science ship means it's not doing anything. The green icon of our military fleet means it's not doing anything. Blue, I want to see blue. Blue means stuff is being done. So quick visual cues. And up at the top, I have a couple pop-ups. A 1 in red and a 1 not in red. So when I go to the tab, what is this telling me? I'm going to mouse over the number 1 in red. Science ship without leader 1. So the 1 isn't there. The red circle is not there because the science ship isn't doing anything. It's because it doesn't have a leader, and a science ship can do almost nothing without a leader. That's a critical warning. The game is trying to be like, hey man, you've built a bunch of science ships. I think you think that's really cool, but they ain't doing anything for you. You need to get a leader. So let's jump into our leaders tab here. Here we go. Boom. And you can see that we can sort by all of our leaders, officials, commanders, or scientists. You'll also notice, I'll go back to all, but we have 2 of 3 total officials. Officials, think bureaucrats, governors, presidents, officials, bureaucrats. We have 1 of 3 possible commanders and 1 of 3 possible scientists. That's 3 of each. So we can have 9 total leaders in our civilization right now. There are certainly ways to increase the leader pool. But we know we need a scientist right now. So at the start of the game, in vanilla here, with Earth, we can only have 3 science ships functioning. Because we know we can only hire up to 3 scientists. So that's a hard limit. But yeah, let's look here. These are the 4 leaders we have. Your leaders, 4. But let's scroll down to recruitable leaders. These are officials. There's several of them. Here's some commanders. Looks like there's 4 of them. And here are some blue scientists. And there are 4 of them. So I've got a couple things to look at. I need to hire them outright for an upfront cost of 100 unity with an upkeep of 2 unity per month forever. It's just like you're essentially giving them like a TikTok account. That's how they interact with your population. They're like, you're gonna get me 100,000 subscribers. You're like, oh my gosh, is that how you want to get paid? And they're like, yes, I want the clout. That's what I'm here for. And you're like, all right, Albert Einstein, here's your clout, buddy. Yeah, we're paying him in unity. I don't know why. But out of my scientists, they have 4 special traits. I want to find a trait that's going to help with what I want my science ship to do. I either want to survey better or research or survey anomalies better. Either one of those would be good for me. So let's mouse over. Roamer. Survey speed plus 10%. That's good. Expertise in industry technology. That is not bad, but I would have to put them in charge of my science leader. Yeah. We'll take a look at that on the council. I'm not going to have them do that probably. I wonder though, they've kind of refocused this. Empire effects as counselor would be research speed on industry plus 5%. Chance for industry research options to increase by 25%. that brings up an interesting point, which is the available research when it gave us, I think, 3 selections for physics, 3 for society, 3 for physics, engineering, physics, society. Those are randomly selected. You won't necessarily get the same options every playthrough. Most of them you'll have at least one shot at as you're making your way through, but some things are hidden behind branches in a tree. So if you don't follow the proper technology path, you may not get to every technology. So be cautious with that. But yeah, long story short, I'm not interested in an expertise in engineering guy. I have another roamer, and I have an intuition, which is anomaly research speed plus 10%. So we've already got one roamer. I want this. We already have one intuition. But again, I'm not so focused on anomalies. I want anomalies, but I'm not really ready for them. I want survey speed. Because I think the first thing that is really going to help our civilization grow is getting a couple of new colonies developed, new planets. Those are really valuable. So I know there's 2 habitable planets we can see with our telescopes. I want to get both of those systems surveyed, get a construction ship there, get a little space station set up, and colonize those planets. So I want roamer. Now I'm going to look real quickly. I see age 41. I see age 37. Are there any other differences? Jessica is of the xenophile ethic, which is cool. And Tony is of the egalitarian ethic. All right. I don't know that I care so much about promoting either one of those. So I don't know if there's any other valuable stats. I think in general, they're in every other way pretty nascent leaders. I don't see any progress. They're all level 1 skills. So let's just hire Jessica. Here we go. Hire leader. Boom. It'll cost 100 now. Yes. Boom. Done. And you see they make a big point. She says, let's discover new worlds and expand our frontiers. Awesome. Awesome, Jessica. Cool. Whoa. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Interesting. I clicked on the gear by her box. I've never done that before. So let's resume our game. That was weird. Okay, here we go. Idle leader. So you have 1 or more leaders ready to be put to work. Well, I have a science ship that needs a leader. So let's fix the problems. Okay, here we go. I'm going to click on the Darwin. I can see here there's a ghosted out, no orders, empty leader slot. I'll just click this. This brings up all the leaders I have hired. And I can see very clearly that Herman is our head of research. He works as a counselor. He's on the council, right? Up here under the government tab. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But Jessica is just a scientist, so yeah, I'm going to select her. She's now on the ship. And I will now jump back to our Galaxy tab. You'll see the one with the red circle, the warning is gone. We've cleared the alert. And we will select our science ship. I can make sure, yeah, this is in fact the Darwin. There she is, no orders. And I'm going to click on survey system. I am? Okay. I'm good with name. I can read good. Okay. She'll go on her merry way. And I would say at this point, we're rocking. We're rocking. Everything is looking good. And I'm going to jump in the government tab real quick. The United Nations of Earth is comprised of a Minister of Defense, our President, our Head Research, and our Minister of State. I think you get one other position over here eventually. I don't know what that would be, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, these are our different leaders and different positions. You can always mouse over to see what the ministerial position provides. Right here we have Yossi as the Minister of State. His effect on our empire is envoy percentages, envoy harm, first contact speeds, infiltration speeds. Cool, that's what he's doing for us. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It's kind of obscure that those leaders are just regular leaders. They're just in a council position within your government. But yeah, so you're either going to put leaders in charge of sectors, like governors in colonies. You're going to put them in charge of Fleets, right, would be another way to do it. If I click on the fleet, you can see here's Augusta. And you put them on scientists on science ships. I think you can put commanders in charge of armies, separate from a space fleet. So, yeah, it's what you do with your leaders, but they're super valuable. All right, let's hit the space bar and run the game forward. Now, I want to keep an eye on my constructor ship right here. The India is nearly done developing this mineral.
Complete.
Perfect. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to pause the game. So, a couple quick things. That did not auto-pause, but I noticed that it clicked the India to sleeping, red. Why is it red instead of just green in orbit? Because it's not docked at a station. It's just floating out there by Ganymede, right? Just, it's twiddling the thumbs. It doesn't have anything else to do. Let's find another build for it. So, we're going to jump back in here to the Sol system. I see right here the constructor. And what do we want to do next? Do we want to get more energy, or do we want to get more physics research at Mars? I think we'll go for energy first, and then we'll go for a research. Usually, I like to get the hard consumables down before I go for research, personally. But yeah, here's Io. I right-click on Io, build mining station for 100 minerals. Yeah, and you know what else is nice is that Io and Ganymede are physically very close together, so the constructor will just zip right over there. So it's actually time-wise more efficient than sending the constructor to Mars and then from Mars back to Jupiter. Would just eat up more days. That's a very micro-level thing that you certainly can do in your games, and it will save you over the course of a long game years of ship travel time. I don't usually micro that much, though. So yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, I've got the minerals, 281. Boom, there you go. So you got a job. Everyone's got a job. And if I jump back to my government tab, I can see Earth is very slowly building that district. They got a ways to go. Okay, let's jump back to the galaxy and let's hit play. There goes the Darwin to Niam, and it's going to start surveying. If I click on her, you can see surveying Niam 2, which will probably be the second planet, possibly a star. Yeah, I think it's a planet. And you can see the progress bar. She's just cranking through there, surveying, and our other ship's doing the same thing in the Alpha Centauri system. Now, the game did stop automatically. I didn't have to pause it because a very fun event just popped up, an anomaly event. And it does pause the game because it wants you to take the time to read the story and get into the role play if you should choose to do that. All right, so here, we'll close this down for now. So, pre-sapient species found. So one molluscoid molluscoid species on Niam 2 exhibits unusual intelligence. Throughout the planet's dry and rocky landscape, these creatures have evolved to dominate their environment. Test run by scientist Jessica Newman. We hired Jessica and sent her there. Like, she's actually doing the job. Of the UNS Darwin show that their evolution can be accelerated with the application of the right technology. That sounds like pure evil. Hey, you want some eugenics? Oh, yeah. It's bad. Okay, something to keep in mind for the future. Cool. We don't have the technology to uplift these molluscoids. Someday we will. See what happens. And then here's another. The Darwin has also the discovery of alien life. So the UNS Darwin has made a startling find on Niam 2, the planet with the molluscoids. The planet's teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Earth. This is a big moment for Earth and humanity. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Niam 2 are sapient, meaning able to use tools and stuff. What the hell? Sapiens? Crap. I will have to look that one up in a dictionary. Because I know there's like self-awareness, but like a dolphin can like see itself in a mirror and realize it's itself and not another dolphin, right? Whereas your turtle, your box turtle, you put it in front of a mirror, it might try and attack the other turtle, drive it off of its territory. It doesn't know that it's not it. So there's levels of intelligence, but yeah, I'm sure I've read the definition of sapience many times in my life, but for right now, I don't really know what it means. But it means tool using real smart, or real smart alien. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, it's only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. Yeah, saying, listen, we found life, and although they're a little bit clever, they're not sapient. But eventually, we're sure we're going to find Xenos, sapient Xenos. We may not be alone out there. So what this did for us was it actually gave us a lump sum society research gained of 266. Just boom, smack. Now, if you recall up here on our microscope, we're only generating 22 society research a month right now. 22 per month. We just got ourselves a honkin' 266. So that's like a year's worth. We got a year's worth of research from this one science mission. Jessica's already paying for herself in earnest. So we'll just click that and we cash that. We put in our piggy bank. Now let's look at this real quick because this is a little bit. So sorry, I didn't pause the game. It unpaused when I left that. But here we go. Contact report. Pre-sapient beings. Get back to my research thought. We banked a bunch of research. We want to look at that. Okay. The human news nets are ablaze with discussions and debate over the alien beings we encountered some time ago, over there on Niam. The creature's intelligence is fascinating, and it is sobering to realize that while the United Nations of Earth may only just have made its entrance on the galactic stage, we may have come a long way. Most humans agree that it is an obligation and our moral duty to help other races make the same journey when they are ready. So they are saying we want to uplift because we're egalitarian. Egalitarian's gonna egalitarian. You're gonna uplift those molluscoids into sapiens. Cool. Fascinating. We just hit that, and I'm gonna pause. Pause right there. Okay. Losing a few days running by is no big deal, but there's a couple things we want to talk about. We have some pop-ups. We'll get to those. But back to the research. When I click here on research, I don't see 266 research. It went into an invisible piggy bank. I wish it would just show you your cache, your stored research. Sorry. Right here, but it doesn't. I don't know why. Makes no sense to me. I'm not sure where you would see it, but let's jump over to our research technology tab. Okay. So you can see here our physics research 81 months out. Our engineering research 65 months out. It had lesser months anyway, but look at what has happened to society. We're still on planetary unification. This is the first society research project we started. It's down to 40 months. What's going on? It's half of what physics is, and they started at the same month cost. What happened is, if I mouse over here, I'm getting plus 44.7 progress per month. Plus 44.7, that's odd because we're only generating 22 physics. So what that means is it knows that we have a surplus of society research in our hidden piggy bank, and it only lets us extract an amount equal to what we generate per month. So if we were able to generate, say, 112 society research per month, it would let us suck from our stored, our banked research of society, 112. For a total of 224. That's an example, but that's how it siphons it off. It just doesn't take 266 and just dump it in and just slam this progress bar forward. It's like, boom, you just got the research. No. Stellaris is a long, drawn-out game. It takes time. So although we gained a year's worth of research all at once, it's going to just sip it out to us in an amount equal to our monthly gain, our natural monthly development. Saying, yeah, you gained a lot of new knowledge, but you can only actualize it so fast. You have to digest it. Your scientists have to process it. They're using this research while they're doing their own research, and together they are getting to 44.7 progress per month. That's why, and up here, if I look on AI, we're at 22.57, which is there's no piggy bank just to extract from. So that's an unusual thing that is not obvious in any way you look at this, but that's what's going on. Yeah. And eventually that surplus will get used up in about 12 months. And this number will go from plus 44, 45, wherever it's going to be. It'll drop back down to just 22, 23. So it's all seamless, which is nice. We looked at that. So let's look at our emergency pop-ups. Couple things. Construction complete. This is saying that the India has completed that mining station IO. Okay, awesome. I appreciate the tip. You'll notice that the energy white 2, the lightning bolt energy, is gone because we've harvested that resource. And in fact, if we mouse over the sun, I see our energy has gone from, what was it, a 15? We're up to an 18 now. And our minerals as well went from a 15 to an 18. That's the rounding. You know, it does keep track of all the rounding. It doesn't, I'm sure it's some decimal place it cuts it off, but yeah, you get like tenths and hundredths of resources. It does pull them together. So that's cool. So how can we handle that? Well, we could click on the constructor without going into the solar system. And you can see there's no orders. Well, check it out. I could then right click on the Sol hex. You see the little green hex pop up when I cursor on. You see that? Watch, I'll right click. And it's saying, hey, you've selected the constructor. I can see it's highlighted right above my mouse. I right click on Sol and saying, listen, you can move here. We're already there. I think it'll move you to the sun, the actual Sol sun. Or you could build the research station for 100 mineral. And you're going, what? It knows even from this view? Yeah, it knows. Had we done this initially when we started the game, it would have showed us you could build an energy station. Well, it's a little tricky. It would have lumped together the mining stations for energy and minerals into one lump sum, and it said, do you want to build some mining stations for 200 minerals? And you go, oh, I thought the mining stations only cost 100 minerals. It's like, no. We're going to build all the mining station. Energy and mineral, 100 energy, 100 energy for mineral for sum total 200 minerals. And you go, and it's a convenience. And you just say, oh yeah, I'll click it, boom. Here's one of the things that is not so great about that ease of use thing, is that it's not going to necessarily tell you, will it build the energy before the mineral before the energy? What if there's 5 things to develop? A 2 energy, a 4 energy, a 1 mineral, a 3 mineral, a 5 mineral. And you use this shortcut, and it'll say for 500 mineral, I'll build you 5 stations. And it goes to the 1, the 4, the 1, the 3, the 5. Well, those numbers are mixed and they're not necessarily in the right order. I would actually want to do the 5, then the 4, then the 3, then the 1, then the 1. So it might be better if you ever see that number more than just 100 minerals, it means there's more than one thing to build. And I would encourage you to actually go into the solar system view and send your ship to the most valuable things first. Because again, it's going to take months to travel and build each station. So years could go by developing a single star system. I always want to say solar system, but I guess that's the term for it. But it's Earth-centric because our sun is Sol, thus solar system. But let's say star system. Okay. But you can see that if you ran over and developed the 1 energy first, you'd be like, I don't think it'd ever be less than 2 energy because of upkeep reasons. But you get my point. When there was a 5 available, and you're like, shit, you should have gone to the 5 station. I build that first, and then we'll get all that surplus. And that's ways where micromanaging can definitely yield you a lot of extra resources over the years of developing your galactic empire. So be cautious. Now, in this case, there is only a single resource left. It's a single research resource, and we know that because it's only asking for 100 mineral. There's no question. There's no detriment to just saying, yeah, build it. So without me having to go zoom in there and do all this, I'm able to just send that constructor on its next job. Lickety split. Awesome. I can move on with the game. Cool. So we handled that, and hopefully you learned something new. I can get rid of that. There you go. There were some instructions in there, by the way, about how you can use control and shift, and you can build queues up of development or science ships. So, for instance, if I take my science ship, I can I think it's control left, or I can essentially. I want to be careful. I'm not going to really do it because I don't want to mess up the research. But we'll look into it. We'll look into how to do it. I should know these, but I play very slow. I don't learn shortcut keys ever. So that's just something about me. I'm sure people scream to the heavens and go, Mark, why don't you use shortcuts? It's like, no. Control Alt Delete's the only fucking combo shortcut thing I know. I've been on computers for 40 years and I don't use any shortcuts. It just means nothing to me. I can't hold on to them, so I don't even bother. But long story short is you could say, hey, science ship, I want you to survey Alpha Centauri. Survey here, survey Demon's Maw, survey here, and you could chain together 20 commands. Or you can go into, say, a new system that, say, has 8 different resource and research options. You can take your one constructor and say, I want you to build here, then 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 here. Doing that descending order of the most valuable to the least valuable. And you can, as opposed to having to jump back in over and over. So there's ways to kind of build up a queue. Yeah, a development queue. So I'll try and do a little bit of research and find out how to do that for you guys, because you should know, even though I'm too stupid. Okay, we're just past an hour, so the last thing we want to do is look at traditions available. This is the first time this has popped up. This is like a drama and a comedy mask, I guess. Yeah. Here we go. Tradition available. We have enough unity to adopt a new tradition. These are big, powerful, useful things, and we're not going to look at it today. We're going to look at traditions next episode because there's a lot to talk about in the Society Management tab. This pop-up window here, I'll just pop it up just so you can see. Ooh, 300 unity. We're full up on our progress bar. We're ready to choose a tradition, get into all sorts of cool stuff. This is really how early on in the game, you notice this only took 13 months to hit this. This is going to drastically make our UN Earth civilization start to go down a different branch of the tree. You choose a different tradition, the same human UN society might go this way. And you choose another one and it might go this way. So we can drastically redirect the same build by these very powerful traditions. And eventually you can choose multiple traditions. But to start with, early game, super critical. How you want to play is to what you choose here. That's going to be for the next episode, but not right now. So that's what we'll pick up on the next one. Thank you so much, guys, and I will hopefully see you next week. Take care.